Ladies and gentlemen, J. Horace McFarland, President of the American Civic Association.
Who wants to be ugly? Who prefers to live in an ugly house or on an ugly street in an ugly city? Ugliness repels and beauty attracts. Look at a beautiful home and you want to live in it. This is true of normal conditions in all walks of life, and therefore all of us are engaged in this crusade against ugliness. What is the crusade against ugliness in America? It is, in effect, an endeavor to return to the conditions of natural beauty which once notably distinguished unmatched America. Nothing is so effective as contrast, and the showing of premises before and after improvement is always a striking illustration. Can one expect children to grow up with an appreciation of the beautiful or the cleanly, or to become good citizens in a filthy backyard? Surely the child growing up with abundant knowledge of dandelions is to be a better future citizen than the child of the gutter and the slum. I am merely a prophet of improvement, but any feeling toward improvement which does not bring better living conditions had better be abandoned. Think over the American cities of your acquaintance and look along the prominent streets. Will you find that the vistas are all sightly and pleasant? Or may there be hateful vacant lots, nasty dumps, piles of waste objects, obtrusive billboards? But streets may be arranged in a model fashion, and these evidences of how streets in Buffalo and in Washington take full care of modern public utilities while affording pleasant places for homes go far to prove that the hideousness of the average American city street is not necessary. Trees greatly adorn the home and the city in their natural state, unmutilated by stupid trimmers, but when turned into telegraph poles, they endanger and disgrace our homes. In far too many cities, the trees have no rights that anyone is bound to respect. Yet here in Cambridge, Massachusetts, is an evidence of particular care that is pleasant to see. Street signs in cities should at least be sightly, if not beautiful. These ugly signs from my own city of Harrisburg do not point toward the best in this crusade. But the better sign from Beverly, Massachusetts, points toward the model sign with the lamppost in the village of Biltmore. There we see carefully considered conditions on all sides. Progress toward the city beautiful is inevitably connected with the provision of completely adequate park and playground facilities. The old ideal of the park as a sort of formal flower garden with driveways for the wealthy is disappearing. The modern service park, with its ball fields and golf courses, its wading pool, and its public baths, reaches the people with a considerable suggestion of a return to the beauty of the fields. Nowhere is the crusade against ugliness more needed than in fighting the hideous conditions of community waterfronts. Most of us have grown up under the idea that a waterway is a natural sewer, and that riverbanks are the ideally proper places upon which to deposit garbage, or upon which to place manufactories which may thus easily have access to both the sewer and the garbage pile. The formal city entrance to Venice on the Plaza of St. Mark's is paralleled only in this continent in the city of Harrisburg, which has a formal city entrance in the shape of memorial columns, flanked right and left by riverfront of the utmost beauty, accessible to all her people, and looking abroad upon a panorama of river and island and mountain, which last year attracted 440,000 visitors. The crusade against ugliness is a crusade against the waste, the danger, and unwisdom of the prevailing overhead wires in American cities. No greater kindness can be done to the wire-using companies than to force them to put wires underground at the earliest possible moment. That the most advanced community in the matter of commercial progress in the United States does not need overhead wires is shown by the condition of Herald Square, New York, where, as in all of the metropolis, there are none. The fight against billboards should give heart in the crusade against ugliness. That we must pledge ourselves in every way to fight a threatened overwhelming by advertising signs is obvious if we are to retain self-respect in America. It goes without saying that the city beautiful cannot be attained if we are to continue to have the city smokeful. The tons of unconsumed and utterly wasted carbon thrown out of the chimneys of manufacturing establishments to be spread upon houses, clothes, goods, and food represent both waste and wickedness that should not be endured in any American community. The manufacturer has no more right to distribute his smoke into my home, over my food and person, and upon the goods I have for sale, than he has to distribute his ashes over my lawn, and there is not need for him to do it. To you, fellow citizens of Pennsylvania, I think it only right to show something of an advance in the crusade against ugliness, which has given us a beautiful Capitol building. Especially is it beautiful as it forms a fitting crown of my own city of Harrisburg, which has been transformed from almost the ugliest city in the country to one of the most pleasing, because it has had a plan. Any community, whether its population be 5,000 or 500,000, can progress more satisfactorily, more rapidly, and far more economically by the adoption of a well-developed plan. If any of these things are to be done in your community, if the crusade against ugliness is to be a reality, it means action by all and not by a few.